Welcome back to the Amazon Private Label Show podcast. This is Michael, co-founder of Amazon FBA University. Today we have a special guest. We have one of our Amazon Accelerator students. His name is Cody. He joined in late July, possibly August of 2022. It's a really fun interview. Cody's a great dude. So just wanted to bring a couple students on over time and just kind of hear their story, hear what prompted him to start a business, see how it's going first few months, the ups, the downs, the future plans. As always, if you are interested in being an Accelerator student and launching your own private label brand, we have a link in the show notes. We are taking students each month for a 12-month program. It comes with unlimited one-on-one calls. Really is hands-on, a lot different than what you likely see across what is the beauty of the internet. So without further ado, enjoy Cody and his experience with the Amazon Accelerator program. All right, Mr. Cody.
What's going
my
on?
Man. So Cody is one of our greatest students.
You just saying that, Michael.
Cody's been in the program. When did you join, my man?
I think it was like end of July when I made the plunge.
Yeah. And so Cody and I have shared a lot of calls, shared a lot of seller support grievances, I would say. But real quick, just wanted to, we talked to a few different students on this and wanted to understand your experience kind of in a SparkNotes version. So before Amazon and still what you do day to day, like what prompted you to essentially think you wanted to start an Amazon business, to be interested in second income? How did you even get to the point where we met on that initial call?
Oh man, you just get frustrated over time. You're just like,
Yeah.
Man, I need a way out. And I don't know. I listened to y'all's podcast for quite some time, and I went to Puerto Rico, had a blast, and then I had that overwhelming feeling right after of going home and back to the grind and back to the day-to-day, the monotony. And I was like, man, I need a way out. And like Puerto Rico did it for me, because I was like, man, I had a blast. I want to like live a life where I'm not bound by like, I have to be at work at this time. I have to do this. I have to do that, or I don't have the life that I live. And just a way to supplement that, so I'm not just so reliant on being a one-trick pony, and just having other skills developed if the time comes to make a move.
Nothing like an island trip to just spark
you,
that digital nomad gene in you. That's awesome. So what professionally, without getting too much into it, what do you do? I know you don't, and Cody isn't even someone, some people, dislike what they do. I don't ever get that indication from you, but what do you do?
So I'm a service manager at an auto repair facility. Yeah. And it's not like I was ever into cars. I was never into cars. And my boss now, like, he just offered me a job over drinks when I was bartending. And I knew it was 9 years later, but I work for great people. So it makes that job really, really easy. And they treat me really, really well. So it's not like a need for money is what's driving the decision. It's more of just like a passion for freedom than it is a need for money.
Yep.
And that's what makes it somewhat a little difficult, because it's like I could just be living comfortably on what I do and be okay, but it's just like it's not enough fulfillment for me just to live comfortably.
Yeah.
Be a little uncomfortable at all times.
Yeah, the 9 to 5 is comfortable, but it's not fulfilling, and those unfortunately those two things
makes me uncomfortable. It makes my skin like
right
almost.
It's the someone knowing you have to be somewhere, that someone you will get a text if you're not up.
But go a little bit more capable than like just the day-to-day things that you're doing. It's just like, all right, I'm on autopilot now at this point. And it's like I want to have something challenge me.
Right. So getting into obviously you're up and selling now. You've been for a few months, but what was it like starting the program, starting to learn? Did you have any experience? Kind of take us through the first couple months of diving into the Accelerator program.
The only real like exposure I had was the podcast, and like I've heard of it here and there, but once I got into it, it wasn't what I was looking for in like mentors was somebody that actually had the time to put in and time to invest in me, which I knew would come at a cost. And really, like once I was trying to figure out what the number was, and I knew if it didn't make me squirm a little bit, it's not what I was looking for. It's got to be like a number that's going to make me like, okay, I'm invested now, so I've got to see this through. And once I heard the podcast and how genuine you guys were, and I didn't even know you guys even had a mentorship. Like at first when I started listening, because y'all weren't really like pushing it. And so that's why I reached out to you on Instagram. DM you, like, hey man, do you have like a mentorship, like a one-on-one type course? Because you see all these courses on Instagram, and man, it's like, oh, for $2.99, like I'll show you.
You can quit your job tomorrow, bro.
Yeah, you're on Instagram saying $2.99. I'm sure you have 3,000 people. There's no way that you're going to answer all the dumb questions that I have. And like, I need you to. And once you like told me the cost and told me like the outlook and like what the parameters were, like I was comfortable with it. Didn't seem that daunting. And the best thing that you guys did was keep it from being daunting. Like it always seemed like it was just one more small step instead of, hey, this is what it's going to take. Like you in or you out. And I would have been like, I'm out, because that is a lot of work and it doesn't look easy. But it was just piecemeal, which is the way I like it. It's like, okay, all right, you did that. Go to the next step. Go to the next step. And I'm like, when does this end? Y'all just keep moving the goalpost.
Yeah, I don't know if consciously or unconsciously we save. There's always more, right, when you're launching products. Although you've been through A to Z now, all the way up through launch and selling products successfully.
Next step, like when you're walking the forest and looking through the forest trying to find the destination. So just
the only thing you can do is learn what you need to do next. Otherwise, and a lot of students come in and ask, while they're waiting for their first product to arrive, or like for the samples to even be sent, should I be looking at marketing and all X, Y, and Z? We're like, no, always no, because then you're just going to be distracted and you don't have a product, so you can't actually actualize what the hell you're doing. And and you want to, right? You have that dopamine progress buzz going, and you're just like,
I should be doing something this downtime. You're like, dude, just chill for a little bit.
Well, luckily I know you chill hard too. So, but all right. So getting back to your experience, you came in, you hit the ground running. Like you're very active. Cody is definitely on the extrovert side. Like so am I. But what's key about you is you would ask the questions over and over and over, not over and over the same question, but you ask very frequently. And I think the more people ask, the better results they do, because it's better than being stuck, even if it is a dumb question. Like, who cares? You're in the program.
Like, that's why I'm willing to pay money, because I know I'm going to have a bunch of dumb questions. It's going to be annoying, and that's why I'm paying you, buddy. I get that, man. I'm here for you. I'm like, all right, cool.
And realistically, they're not dumb, but like that's what everyone themselves thinks. Like maybe this isn't even relevant, but if you just ask, you flesh it out. So getting back to your journey, how long did it take you to find product number one?
I think I had product number one found in a month. And then that's when the process started. Like I found the product after you told me maybe 12 times, what are you doing? This is not what I'm talking about when it comes to this. Is so vague. This is so not niche. Like what? Do you even listen to what we're saying? And I'm like, all right, it's a little harsh, but I'll keep grinding until we niched it down to where you were okay with it.
Yeah.
And then you finally give me a green light on it.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Well, you did send a bunch of products, and they weren't necessarily terrible products. They just weren't. Now you understand.
I had no clue what I was doing. You were like, dude, dog walker? Like, what does that even mean? I'm like, I don't know.
Damn. Okay. Yeah. I these are jogging my memory, but yeah. So it takes, and that's very common. I don't think there's ever been a first. A student hasn't come in and met their product soulmate just on the first one. So it takes a while to understand what a good keyword market is. So
Your product research it's the first hurdle and it's the hardest hurdle. And
yeah,
like that's where it's like if you can keep that motivation up through so many like failed product researches until you find the one that's actually gonna like because I mean you don't want to rush that. That's the most important part. And like if you mess that up, then you're investing all this extra time. Everything comes after that is just for nothing
right.
because you
Right.
started with the wrong product.
That's the foundation. So you found the product. Now you're at this point, you're a few months later. Take us through kind of where you are today. How many products? How long? Let's. I'll give you a little more guidance. When did the first product launch, and then take us from there to kind of where we are today.
So first product launched the last week of November, and still remember when that like you get your first sale.
It's a good time to launch.
Yeah, I did that. And then like one sale led to a couple sales, and a couple of sales led to like 4 sales in a day. And then like you see your rankings and everything, like how rankings work, keyword rankings, and how those started ticking up towards the top and like getting to page 1, then you're kind of like feeling like you're in the hunt. And then like keeping, and that was Q4. So now I'm over here running out of stock. And I remember literally the first week I was selling, you were like, dude, you better get the rest of your stock coming like right now. It still wasn't quick enough. I think I
just
sold
like
out.
just what you want to hear as a new seller who's just invested money. You gotta go. You gotta spend some more, my man. You gotta, gotta keep this
Yeah,
moving.
we were like, you're gonna get that coming right now. And I was
Yeah.
like, wow, okay, all right. Well, that's kind of motivational to me because that means I'm like doing something right. And I ran out the last week of December, and I think in that period right there alone, I did 9,000 in sales.
Ripping.
Yeah,
Month one.
it was fun. It was great. But
Yeah.
then also like the biggest part of the mentorship, like that's been a big help to me is knowing, like, be able to reel me back in. Like when you have a great month, you had a great month because you had a good product, it's a good launch, but you're also in Q4.
Yeah.
You got to realize that it's still a new product. You got barely any reviews. You're on fire right now because everything's on fire, and
Yeah.
you need to be ready for the next season where you start sharpening your pencil.
Winter is coming, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so after Christmas, after New Year's, people's hurting from Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
They're not sitting there on Amazon all day like they were the month prior. And then to find different ways to pivot and adjust to the market, and like not just thinking, oh well, then my products just failed. Like I'm not doing things correctly. I need to redo the whole entire wheel, which was probably what I would have thought immediately.
Yeah.
I didn't have like support or like a community to talk to. When come to find out, everybody's in the same situation as me. Every seller on Amazon is in the same situation as me, but they've been doing it long enough to know how to inventory, how to sell, how much inventory to have for Q4 and stuff like that. This is all new. So,
Yeah, you become a marketer after Q4 because if you launch during you just think it and that's the beauty of it. There's always Q4 every year, but you're taking advantage of the American consumerism at its finest. And it's a beautiful thing. But then after in the rest of the year, kind of the strategy really
exactly. And like trying to understand like, okay, well, it's not necessarily a seasonal product, but it does have seasons. So now you need to pivot towards an evergreen product to sustain you through those seasons as well. Or like how to basically counteract the loss of sale from the slight seasonality that you do have, and bring something that balances out your spreadsheet and diversify your brand instead of just being betted on one type or one niche per se.
Yeah.
And just really just broaden the horizons. And that's where I'm at now in that season of just, okay, I've got these established. I've worked through some inventory issues, variations, getting mixed up and stuff like that. But Amazon seller support comes in, and they are just so efficient at fixing it.
Efficient's a nice way to put it.
They are on the spot, and they care.
So all right, so you launched in November. It's tail end of March 2023 now. So what's your brand look like now?
So as far as sales go, they did taper off. I had a bunch of inventory issues, so that did hit the rankings. But now I've pivoted my campaigns and actually like fine-tuned the bid strategy that I didn't really pay attention to before, because I could just throw a rock and I'd hit something. But now it's more like, all right, we need to figure out what's working, what's not working, get rid of that, slim down the campaigns, bring down the budgets, because obviously there's no need to front load a bunch of ad spend because there's not as many eyes as you had once before. So bringing those down so you don't have to make so many sales to balance out your advertising campaigns. And now I'm in the basically launching it's 2 products, but I have basically 6 different ASINs or 6 different options of 2 different products. At this point, now moving towards a 3rd product and a totally different niche.
Yeah. You're
back in the product research.
Yeah, and it seems like your next product it seems like a winner. I mean, obviously we'll see, but it's you're getting much more efficient at finding, and it's good to see. The product number 2 was you got to use duplication and SEO listing strategy.
I thought about seeing you a Excel spreadsheet of just very vague products again as a joke, but I didn't know if you found it funny.
You're always welcome to, man. Bring it over.
It's always a hitter.
Well, shit, man. You definitely, and you realize it's not. You don't just launch and boom. This is leave the 9 to 5 back to Puerto Rico, bottomless mimosas till the end. But you've learned a lot of skill. Yeah. Learned a lot, and your brand is now, you have some traction. So what just kind of wrapping up here, what do you envision for this? Let's say you're 9 or so months from when you started, just joined the program. What does this look like in another year for you?
So in the next 12 months, because I believe my program's going to be the Horizons at the end of July, so hopefully at that point hit the goal of 100,000 in sales total.
Yeah,
and, you can have me off your back at that point. And then also be able to just keep that motivation, keep the strides going, and make sure that we got money coming in, money clearing the balance sheet, and then just reinvest in everything that that is going to be profit back into what we're doing.
Right.
And be able to build that brand, and also see that brand just kind of flourish, and think about having more of maybe 2 brands. One that's has my products that just have all kinds of array of products, and then just kind of tailoring one brand towards something that is has a kind of like a symbiotism of it, where it all kind of makes sense, and it all kind of
more traditional.
Yeah,
brand schematic from
exactly. So just I'm still learning so much. I'm nowhere near actually knowing everything. When I'm doing product research this time, I was like, I forgot how hard this was, and how I didn't retain much of anything. So having to do that redundancy and making it become muscle memory for me is really where I'm at, and I don't think I'll ever get too comfortable with it.
I'm sure you will. It's just over time. But all right, my man. Well, thanks for taking the time. I'm sure the listeners and the watchers will appreciate and seeing that pretty mug on their screens. And so Cody and I just had a coaching call, so we are wrapping up today. But always a pleasure, my man. And big things ahead for you and your brand, I'm sure.
I'm hoping so.